do your company have to report, and who does your company have to report? So if you're not one of the 23 exempt entities, you are a reporting company, you have a deadline to report, but what exactly is it that you are reporting, and who are you reporting? So let's look at the first thing. You're a reporting company. And if you're a reporting company, you're reporting 3 different things. You're reporting your beneficial owners, and we'll talk more about that. You're reporting your company applicant. We talked a little bit about it, but I will cover it again. And then you're reporting information on the entity itself. So that is the information that you are actually reporting. When you're reporting the beneficial owners, there's 4 pieces of information you have to be prepared to report. And remember, we talk about you have to be accurate with this information. If you find out this information is inaccurate, then you have to voluntarily submit the correct information within 90 days of the time, within 90 days of the deadline you had to make this reporting. So the 4 pieces of information that you have to report for beneficial owners include the beneficial owner's full legal name, the beneficial owner's date of birth, the beneficial owner's complete current address, and you have to submit a unique identifying document. So this could be a driver's license, a U.S. passport, anything that's state issued, local government or tribe issued. And if you don't have any of this, a foreign passport, if one doesn't have any of the previous, then you can submit that as well. But it has to be the unique identifying ID. So those are the 4 pieces of information for a beneficial owner that has to be submitted. Now, we talked about the 23 exemptions for a reporting company to know if they have to report or not, but I want to just mention an exception. So when we talk about a beneficial owner, so you're not exempted, you don't fall under the 23 exemptions, so you are reporting as a reporting company. There is an exception for a beneficial owner. So if the beneficial owner is a minor child, then the minor child, you don't have to report those 4 pieces of information if the individual is a minor child. In that case, what a company would do is report the information about the minor's child parent or their legal guardian. But that has to be reported in order for this exception to apply. So you are a reporting company, you have a beneficial owner, your beneficial owner is a minor, you do not have to report the minor, but in place of the minor, you have to report the parent or legal guardian in order for the exception to apply. And then there's other exceptions as well if individuals fall under these things and considered a beneficial owner. It could be someone that's a nominee. There's some companies that establish themselves and they want anonymity, and so they may appoint a nominee to establish the company. Then there's an exception for a nominee, an agent, or someone that's a custodian who's acting on behalf of an actual beneficial owner that generally performs these services contractually or in a advisory capacity. So those exceptions apply if the actual beneficial owner is reported, not the person, but the beneficial owner still has to be reported. So just to give you an example, if I am a beneficial owner and I have someone who is a nominee or an agent, then that nominee or agent that's in place of my name publicly, right? Because my business, there's anonymity to my business. So a nominee would be showing up instead of me on the Secretary of State. Well, when we go to report, then the nominee name is not going to be submitted because there's an exception. But I still have to report my name in that place. And again, remember we talked about in video 1 that the law states this reporting information that's reported is not publicly available, except those things that I talked about in video 1. So those exceptions apply to those individuals as long as you are reporting what needs to be reported in place of those individuals. The information for the company applicant is the same thing for the beneficial owner. So when we talk about the company applicant, someone who has directly or indirectly filed, so someone who's directly pushed the paperwork or someone who controlled the paperwork, they're the company applicant. And if the company applicant files, they have to still submit that same information: full legal name, date of birth, complete current address, and their unique identifying number. Now, there is an exception that when the company applicant, I talked about this a little earlier, is someone who registers or forms company in their regular course of business. In that case, they don't have to submit their current address. They can submit their business address. The address is not required, but the other information is required. Now, so that's the beneficial owner, company applicant. Now you still have to report the information about the company itself.